going to go in the trenches with the Chinese internet stocks. Now, Scott, these were really the market leaders. Then they got totally hammered. Now, before we get into specific names, I wanted to know, do you think that that's indicative of a more sell-off for equities or just specific to the Chinese internets? Because we do see a lot of fundamentals that really is just for this sector.
The sector is loved and hated at different times. About 2 months ago, it was the go-to sector, and then it broke down before the market, so it gave us clues that the market could follow. Then they held their 100-day, had a bounce, and then Friday, the action there was just horrible.
And also, you have to look at the other things behind it, too. We're seeing a lot of accounting irregularities come out, worries about Chinese reverse mergers, and not only those, but the ones that are actually listed in the U.S. already. So I think that that's also creating a sort of a fuzzy environment for these guys anyway.
Yes, that kind of adds fuel to the fire.
Right.
No one likes uncertainties. No one wants to be in a stock that's halted that you can't sell, for a month. That's horrendous. And now some of the leaders also, the bigger cap that have been holding up, they're coming under pressure. So those chosen ones are starting to unravel a bit. So you have to be very careful. I want to show you Friday's action because some of Friday's action was very bearish.
Let's start with one of the really bad guys. We want to go to Cena down, a 10%, over 10% on Friday.
Yeah, if you left the office and came back, you would have been like, wow, what just happened here? If you take a quick look at the chart here, you'll see, remember sign of this upper wedge? This was your exit. This is when it said, okay, this base on base is going to fail. You had a huge move lower, decent rally back into resistance. We drew these lines, and then you had that red dog reversal Friday where it pushed through the prior day's high and then came back below and closed really weak below this ascending channel. This tells me get out of the way, that we should see a test back to at least this 104 area, and then who knows, maybe it goes down to below 100 to that prior support pivot.
Let's also go to BIDU because that's been one of the leaders. It's one of the better ones. We haven't heard any sort of rumors about accounting irregularities there. What's that chart saying? Same thing?
BIDU also. BIDU turned lower first, tried to give us an oversold bounce. We played it for some shekels or some cash flow.
Shekels.
And now it also hit its resistance. And look at this pattern. It has not broken this ascending channel yet, but here is why you have to monitor the action of your stocks. This was the breakout failure on earnings. Your time to get out, time to get short. Here was your bounce into resistance again. And this also broke above the high, closed below. And this thing could get some follow-through if it starts getting back below this 131, 132, and we could see a retest down to 125. So it's either a quick trade or it's an avoid. It's not an investment yet. Hopefully you're out.
All right, let's get to a few that have some other headwinds here, which is the fact that some IPO lockups will end this week on two of the stocks that we check out, YOKU and Dang Dang. So with YOKU, if I look in terms of the American depository shares, there's going to be almost 20 million shares added on Wednesday, which basically means the people who had the shares before the IPO can now sell.
Right.
That's going to add tremendous selling pressure, don't you think?
Well, sometimes it's priced in and sometimes it's not.
You think it's priced in here?
Well, let's take a quick look. I know that it's been under a lot of pressure, so people have been maybe shorting it in front of that. If you look here from where it was as high as 70. Now it's down to 40 into some big support. What date is the lockup over?
Wednesday.
Wednesday. Let's see. Let's see if it gets down to this 35. And sometimes what happens is because sometimes the obvious is too easy, so everyone thinks it's going to go down on the day of the lockup. If it's already gone down, everyone's going to short the day before. And then these people that are in the lockup, they've made other money. They're in this for the long term, perhaps. So, it could get a bounce. So just keep monitoring the action, but just know when important dates like this are out there because they could add pressure, but the action will tell us.
But talking about being priced in, if you look at Dang Dang, it was one of the biggest losers on Friday, and that lockup ends tomorrow. So you have to be careful with that.
Yeah, so you know what? We could look at this case first, and Dang has been unbelievably weak. It was the unchosen one. Remember when the IPO came out? It was supposed to be really good. All of a sudden, we talk about pivot areas. This was your pivot. This is when it said, uh-oh, I'm done here. Went below 28. And now look, now it broke new lows. So I got to believe perhaps maybe it could be a tradable bounce because it's been so crushed that finally tomorrow, if it opens up, the shorts that are playing for it, to go lower, go, oh, I got to cover, and this thing's on the dead low, so it's a dangerous short, and we'll see if there's an opportunity.
We're going to see 58 million shares will be added, so that's a lot.
Goodness.
Yeah, that's crazy.